a lot of these people have been disappeared.
And you using the term disappearing people is disgusting. U.S. citizens get arrested by police every day. Are they being disappeared? This is not disappearing people. This is a planned, targeted enforcement operation that we're doing.
From the beginning, we have known that Los Angeles has been used as a test case for total dominance and unchecked power by the federal government.
A mark of authoritarianism is a country where the government can stop you and ask you to show your papers. Papers, please. That is not Los Angeles. That is not America.
The amount of resources the Democrats put to fight for illegal migrants, if they put half of that effort to fight for American citizens, America would be in a way better place.
This isn't about making America great again.
Yes, it is.
Over 70% of the people ICE has in custody have no criminal records.
That's a lie.
It's never been about criminals. It's never been about people who have anything on their records. It's been about who they don't want to see in this country anymore.
Right. And we don't want to see illegal migrants in this country. We are tired of seeing woke mayors like Karen Bass, like Mayor Brendan Johnson, using the American taxpayer money to take care of illegal migrants while we have American citizens sleeping in the streets, while we have American citizens here needing the help. We are tired of that, yeah.
And they're starting with Latinos, and they will be coming for others.
That's how they create the fear. Now they make it about race. Oh, they're starting with Latino. After that, they're going to take the blacks. After that, they're going to take the Indian. No, it's about accountability. You break the law, you come here illegally, you do not have the proper documentation to stay here. I'm sorry, there are consequences.
Thank you for joining us. We just played sound there of elected officials and other leaders in Southern California, many upset about the Supreme Court decision. You heard it. They call this now a papers, please society. So my first question to you is, with this ruling, will the officials there, federal officials working for the Trump administration, National Guard and federal officers, will they be racially profiling? How will they approach the people they think might be migrants?
Well, first of all, it's a false narrative. We don't racially profile people to arrest them. I've been clear from, in the soundbite she just says 70% of people we arrest are not criminals. It's the opposite. Every morning I come to work, I go through 22 pages of data showing what's happened in the last 24 hours. Here are the facts. 70% of everybody we arrest is a criminal. But the left says, we're not criminal enough. No, they're criminals. Who are the other 30%? There are national security threats. We've arrested thousands of national security threats. Most national security threats don't have a criminal history, but there's significant danger to this country. Who are the others? They're gang members with no criminal history. Or they're people who have final orders, who had due process at great taxpayer expense, were ordered removed by a federal judge and didn't leave. They're being arrested too. So this false narrative being pushed is a reason why there's over a 1,000% increase in the assault on ICE officers. So the Supreme Court agreed with us yesterday on how we do these operations. I said from day one, we don't arrest somebody or detain somebody without reasonable suspicion. And reasonable suspicion has a group of factors you must take into consideration. Racial profiling is not happening at all, and the Supreme Court has agreed with that.
I would even go further to say, yes, we may do racial profiling. It is what it is. We are trying to protect a community. If we are in California, if we are in Texas, we see a group of Mexicans, I'm sorry to say, we may ask for documentation. It is what it is. Be mad at it, be sensitive. We don't care. Let me tell you guys, when I'm in Mexico, every time I go to Mexico, you know what they do to me? They look at me and they say, okay, this is a black guy. He don't look Mexican. Let's see what he's about. If I'm from the moment I arrive, they search my backpack, my carry-on, my suitcase, everything. Even when I'm outside in Mexico walking around Playa del Carmen, one of the cities by the beach. I'm walking just randomly 2 p.m. walking on the street visiting. Guess what? You see the National Guard, they just look at me. Okay, this is a black guy walking in the middle of Playa del Carmen. What is he here to do? Let me search him. Let me see if he has drugs on him. They do that to you. How do they do? They just look at you. You don't look Mexican. They search you. It is what it is. So now somehow in America we can't do racial profiling. Like. Give me a break.
So what is that reasonable suspicion? Is it an accent? Is it a tattoo? Is it a job? Tell us what that means.
A lot of those things combined. We don't arrest people just based on their looks. right? But it's a myriad of factors. It's and people see, if they have this MS-13 tattoo on his face, that is one factor. It leads to reasonable suspicion, but there's other factors too. Before they do these operations, they do surveillance. They run intelligence information. They look at background information. They look at undercover videos and taps. They look at social media reports. They copy license plate numbers of people who are leaving and coming. They build reasonable suspicion. That's what's required by law, and I'm confident the men and women, the Border Patrol and ICE, are establishing reasonable suspicion when they detain somebody briefly and question them. And look, the Supreme Court just agreed with us. I said from day one that the law enforcement officers are enforcing the law and acting within the law. Every ICE officer, every 6 months, has to go through Fourth Amendment training, refresher training, on what's required by law to detain, question, seize, arrest. So these are well-trained officers doing exactly the right thing.
It is laughable how all these Democrats are mad at President Trump while President Trump is actually fixing the mess Biden has created. Biden was the person that left the border open for 4 years, and the Democrats, they had no problem with President Biden.
The hateful rhetoric and the false stories are causing an attack on these men and women. I want people to remember, the men and women are ICE, they're mothers and fathers too. They don't hang their heart on the hook when they go to work. They strap a gun to the hip, they put a Kevlar vest on to arrest the worst of the worst and make this country safer.
Mr. Homan, how would you define a criminal? And I'm curious, is a person who is living in this country, paying taxes, has a license, has a job, and has kids serving in the U.S. military, but is still in the process of getting legal papers, is that person a criminal?
Oh, you see what she just said? That person is in the process of getting legal papers. Let's stop there. How did this person get here? If the person crossed the border illegally, okay, that's a crime. I'm sorry to say that is a criminal. If the person overstayed their visa, I'm sorry to say that is a crime. That person, by default, is a criminal.
Look, every case is different, but when I'm talking
I'm asking about that case.
No,
because there's been that case.
No, they're not. From what you just told me, they're not a public safety threat. However, if they're in the country illegally, that is not okay either. So should that person be put in a car, like surrounded by ICE agents wearing masks and dragged into a car and detained? I don't know the specifics of that case, but let me say this.
That seems to be the answer for any case that has happened that you don't want to talk about. Because there are cases across the country where people who are paying taxes, who have licenses, who are in the process of trying to get legal papers, are they criminals? Especially those who have kids who have served in the U.S. military. And no, they're not a public safety hazard.
Are you going to let me answer the question?
Yes, sir.
I don't know the facts of that case. I don't know what you're talking about. I have to look at the facts of the case. However, I will say this. If they're in the country illegally, that is not okay. And people think illegal immigration is a victimless crime, and it's not. I don't know the case. I don't know the public safety threat. But I will say this. There are millions of people standing in line, taking their tests, doing the background investigation, paying the fees to be part of the greatest nation on earth. And the people who are doing things the right way are sitting on the back seat while we had millions of people come across the border in the Biden administration and cheated the system. People can call them asylum seekers all they want, but if you look at immigration court data, nearly 9 out of 10 people who claim asylum at the border under Biden end up with an order of removal because they don't qualify for asylum. They're pushing themselves to the front of the line, and there are thousands of people in the world who actually are escaping fear and persecution from their homeland. They're sitting in the back seat while people violate the laws, disrespected this nation. If you want to be a part of the greatest nation on earth, there's a right way and wrong way to do it.
Not only these people cheated the system, we have people like Mayor Eric Adams. We have people like Brendan Johnson rewarding these individuals, giving them housing, giving them free food, giving them pocket money from the American taxpayers' money. This is the biggest insult to the American citizens here in America that needs help.
So if you're in the country illegally, you may not be a priority because we prioritize public safety threats and national security threats, but it's not okay to be in this country illegally.
Okay, so is it fair to say that if someone is in the process of trying to get their paperwork straight and they have kids who have served in the U.S. military and they're paying taxes and they have a license, is it fair to say that that person is not a threat to society and not a criminal?
Do they have a criminal history? Have you seen the intelligence? Do you have a? Do you
I'm
have
just
the intelligence?
asking. Do you consider someone who is trying to get their papers now, struggling, and has kids who serve in the military, has a license and pay taxes? Is that in your mind a criminal?
I just explained the real data that I see every day. That a mass 70% are criminals, public safety threats, and the rest are national security threats. People with final orders. I don't know who this case. Do they have a final order? Have you seen the background investigation or the investigation that was built upon by the ICE agent? What's involved in that case? Things you may not know. So unless I know the specifics of that case and I have the file in front of me, I can't make that determination if they're a threat
I would
or not.
like to see that data that you're talking about, the 70%, the criminal history. I'd love some transparency as to why a lot of these people have been disappeared. You say you have data. We would love to see it. The American people should see this data.
Well, here's the rhetoric again, right? You just meant disappeared. That is a ridiculous thing to say.
Why?
Because ICE is doing the same thing we've done for decades. But because of the last 4 years, ICE wasn't allowed to enforce the law. ICE was told to sit back, and you can't arrest an illegal alien for simply being here illegally. You got to wait till they commit a serious crime and get convicted of that crime. That's what Secretary Mayorkas' instructions were. And that's why you saw there's so much crime in this country coming from the illegal alien population, because there's no law enforcement. But we're doing the same thing right now that we did when I started back in 1984. ICE agents are enforcing the laws enacted by Congress. They're appropriated funding to enforce these laws. If you don't like what ICE is doing, then go protest Congress. However, to say we disappeared people, no. We're arresting people that are in the country illegally and are public safety threat. We know exactly who we're going to arrest when we go look for them. We have a case file in front of us. We have all those facts. This is not disappearing people. This is a planned, targeted enforcement operation that we're doing.
Now she wants to see the data, but when Obama was disappearing over 3 million of illegal migrants, she did not want to see the data. When Biden left the border open for 4 years and then told the American people the border was secured, she did not want to see the data.
And comments like you just made is one of the reasons why these men and women are under threat every day. Not just the men and women in ICE, but their spouses and their children. They're not disappearing people. They're enforcing the law. And the data proves that 70% of these people are criminals.
Could we see that data?
Absolutely. I have no problem sharing any data from it. I read it every morning.
Well, can you share it with the rest of America?
Yeah, we certainly would like, sir, that data, and local officials do as well. We also want to get your reaction to this. The Wall Street Journal editorial board reacted to the immigration raid at the Hyundai plant in Georgia that was carried out earlier this week. I'll just read a little bit of it now. The sweeping ICE operation in Georgia illustrates the America First contradiction of demanding foreign investment in the U.S. while shrinking the available workforce. Americans want the law enforced, but raiding legal workplaces isn't going after criminal gangs or murderers. The Georgia raid shows the Trump administration's priority is deporting every illegal migrant, no matter how long they have worked here. This makes every employer a potential target of an ICE raid if the agency suspects foreigners are working there. This is already having a notable impact on the U.S. labor market, as recent monthly jobs reports suggest. It's hard to know, sir. That's the end of that page there. So let's get your reaction to that. I mean, the chilling effect potentially on the American economy, as well as the deportation of people who have been here for years as hardworking employees.
Well, let's break this down. First of all, entering the country legally is a crime. First of all, if you're in the country legally, it's not okay. Knowingly hiring an illegal alien is also a crime. And I said from day one, we're going to do worksite enforcement operations. Let me give you just one example why this is important. And this is a true example. I put a new roof in my house a few years ago. I had to call 5 different companies until I got a company that guaranteed me a legal workforce. And one of the people that showed up was a father and son who at one time employed 20 U.S. citizens in their company. But they couldn't win a bid to replace a roof because they couldn't compare themselves to a company that hired illegal aliens, gave them $5 to get on the roof, where he's paying U.S. citizens $20 to get on the roof. So he lays off 20 U.S. citizen employees because he couldn't compete with illegal alien workforce. That happens every day across this country 1,000 times. So hiring an illegal alien, first of all, no one hires an illegal alien out of the goodness of their heart. They hire because they work them harder, pay them less, and undercut the competition who has U.S. citizen employees. It'll also drive down wages. Just an example I told you, drives down wages overall. So enforcing, one of the reasons people come to this country illegally is to get a job. And that's an enticement and that's a magnet. And I'm telling you, thousands under Joe Biden in 4 years, 4,000 aliens died making that journey. Historic record. People putting themselves, illegal immigration is not a victimless crime. We have a nation of laws. We got to follow those laws.
And that's one of the main critics I have for President Trump. President Trump is not going hard enough on these companies hiring illegal migrants.
Homan, I appreciate what you're saying. I think you did answer my question. I mean, you said that if someone is here illegally, they're a criminal. So I just want to know, what is the data you have beyond that?
Let me tell you, in the last couple of days, what's happened in Boston. They've arrested Victor Gomez Perez, a 33-year-old criminal alien from Guatemala, with charges of aggravated rape, assault and battery with dangerous weapon, indecent assault and battery on a victim 14 years or younger. They arrested Kaylee Espinosa, a 34-year-old criminal alien from Colombia, with charges of aggravated assault on a pregnant victim. They arrested Joshua Gonzalez, a 24-year-old criminal alien from Dominican Republic, with charges for trafficking heroin, morphine, opium, resisting police, disorderly conduct, and drug distribution. They also arrested Samuel Armando Barrera, a 20-year-old criminal illegal alien from Guatemala, pending charges for assault and battery on a child. So Mayor Wu and Governor Healy, they ought to be calling ICE and thanking them for making their streets safer, for protecting their communities and taking these people off the street. They have turned a blind eye to this. They're sanctuary cities. Sanctuaries, cities and sanctuary states are sanctuaries for criminals. Give ICE access to the jail to arrest a bad guy in the jail rather than have to go in the community to find them. Because when you go in the community and find them, it puts ICE officers at greater risk. It puts the community at greater risk. It puts the alien at greater risk because anything can happen on a street risk. This is what we're trying to do. We're trying to prioritize public safety threats. When you got governors and mayors who are releasing these public safety threats every day into the community, that causes the crime rate, and we've seen some terrible incidents in the last few days where innocent victims are murdered. This past year, I've seen innocent Americans raped and murdered by people who are not supposed to be here. So rather than going back and forth and say, well, ICE has got a car parked near a church, that is ridiculous. You're out there looking for people like this, exactly what they're doing.
Well, I would argue that actually that the ICE vehicle parked outside a Spanish mass is a frightening sight, given what has happened in this country.
Guys, if you think America is tough on immigration, go to Mexico. Go to Mexico and see how Mexico treats people from Colombia. See how Mexico treats people from Venezuela.
The bottom line is, because of all this false narrative and you using the term disappearing people,
well,
is
that's
disgusting.
What's happened. That happened to the group that was sent to El Salvador. U.S. citizens get arrested every day. U.S. citizens get arrested by police every day. Are they being disappeared? No, their laws are being enforced. They're being arrested. They're being put in detention because they committed a criminal offense. Not like what you're doing.
Not even close. We're enforcing the law and arresting people here in violation of law that are public safety threats. That's not disappearing people. That's enforcing the laws of this country and making this country safer.
I thank you very much for
Tom Homan was one of the best decisions President Trump has made in his cabinet. This man came from day one. From day one, this man has been working, and we are starting to see results. And one of the things I love with Tom Homan, he does not care. He's not afraid to go to CNN, MSNBC. He doesn't. You give him time, he'll be there. He'll be there. Anyway, guys, as always, thanks for watching. That was a very good. I love when Tom Homan dismantles all this fake news media, spreading propaganda about what's really happening. Always a good time to have you guys, of course. Thanks for watching. If you have not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Leave a comment, let me know what you think as I continue to create more and better content and build this channel. We are a very small channel growing day by day, video by video, but it is important. It is important to promote and support conservative values, because again, that's what made America the greatest country in the world, is because of our conservative values. We cannot allow these lunatic Democrats to destroy this great country. As always, thanks for watching. You guys stay safe. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.